Today we're on the 5th lesson of our mini course together. And today we're going to break down the universal algorithm for reading horoscopes. What can we say now at our level of understanding? In fact, not that insignificant. Of course, in order to predict and fly according to the horoscope, and to bring out one event or another from the future, and to tell the owner of the horoscope about it, it takes years, and it takes skill and perseverance and courage and the ability to take responsibility. And that's all the qualifications of an experienced astrologer. Even after the mini course, I can give you an algorithm that will definitely work for the descriptive part of the horoscope. I hope you make use of it on all the individuals you come across subsequent to the lesson we had earlier today. I am instructing you to perform this action with every individual, acquire experience, encounter someone while waiting in line at the clinic, carry out a person's horoscope immediately in the clinic utilizing a mobile application. When you're on a train, you meet all sorts of people, your fellow travelers, colleagues, friends, buddies, acquaintances. Everyone needs to enter your sphere of influence because these will be your initial clients. These will be the individuals who will support you. And when you undergo the complete professional training at the first stage of our school, they will already empathize with you, go through every lesson with you, and you can share everything with them. Today I had a lesson on how to decipher horoscopes. Let's try it on you. Let's observe the extent of progress I've made, and that will establish a sense of their active involvement in your ongoing professional growth and development. This will lay the foundation for you to later have clients and your own social network of contacts. I'm not talking about the internet, social media right now. I'm talking about your relationships with the world around you. Individuals who will offer unwavering support as you progress in your new profession. Let's start by exploring a universal horoscope parsing algorithm, studying it thoroughly, and then applying it as soon as possible to maximize its benefits. First point, actually you've already heard it from me, but let's organize everything. The first thing we look at in the horoscope is what rising sign, what zodiac sign ended up in the first house of the horoscope. This describes a person's innate character, their pattern, actions in big and small matters, in big and small deeds. So, until his brain's cortex catches on and says, wait, you should behave like this, he is giving reactions exactly on the fly in real time. That is just his inner firmware. She turns on automatically without any additional effort. You do not have to work on it. I mean, it is built in. The zodiac sign in the ascendant in the first house reveals the traits that an individual will instinctively and involuntarily transmit without conscious control or awareness. And this will be everywhere. So basically, it's his philosophy of showing off in any situation. Second point, in order to truly master this algorithm, you have to thoroughly review and learn the lessons about zodiac signs and the lessons about planets. You have to be familiar with the functions of planets, the functions of zodiac signs, their character traits, and you have to know the houses of the horoscope well. Make sure to check out all of the recommended videos. Don't forget to print out the handouts that are attached to the lessons for further reference. So expand your knowledge base in order to interpret things well. And again, go over the key lessons. What's up? What is included in the character automatically? We've discussed this, you and me. The second point of our universal algorithm, alpha. Planets in first house. Some have it, some don't. If they exist, then these planets contribute significantly to a person's character traits. These are the character traits that an individual develops over the course of their life and acquires through experience, as determined by their zodiac sign in the first house of their birth chart. So, if an individual has the planet Mars in the first house, it will bestow upon them the warrior-like, active and assertive qualities of Mars in their character. And it is absolutely not necessary for the zodiac sign to harmoniously coincide with the planet that contributes its part to the individual's character. So do not be surprised, that is where the diversity of characters comes in. You might have a rising Libra sign, and that means you have gentleness, diplomacy, and Mars could be in your first house. Yeah, this person is going to be a tough cookie. First, he starts off diplomatically, not pushing too hard, talking about partnership, friendship, and all that jazz. And then Mars turns on, and he becomes tougher, more assertive, more overwhelming, and so on. So, like, it's not necessary, nobody guarantees you easy ways, that everything will be in one, well, like in one gate, yeah, all in one path. There can be a multitude of truly unexpected twists in character, even just from the initial 2 points of the story plot. The third component of our algorithm is the alpha planet ruler, referred to as Lagna in astrology. So we're looking at which planet rules the first house. I'll say it again. In order to really master this, you need to know the zodiac signs inside and out, their interpretation and their characteristics. Their element, what the element says, what social role, function, what character traits grow out of this social function that is such a fundamental innate qualification. That's all you need to know. Applying is not that difficult anymore. We look at the planet ruler Lana as the third item. She demonstrates the inner strength of an individual, their inherent capabilities, the kind of energy and level of activity. For example, you have a person whose horoscope is ruled by Venus, a soft, creative, feminine planet. His energy will remain unchanged. Compare him to an individual whose horoscope is governed by the planet Saturn. For instance, he is a rising Aquarius or Capricorn. This will be a truly quiet and low-key individual who does not speak much. Someone who believes exclusively in facts, without any dreams, without any unclear romantic insinuations or illusions. His energy will be strict, focused, hard-working, because Saturn is the planet of hard work. The one who was with Venus, with the ruler of the first house through Venus, will have less power, less stamina of the body than a Saturnian. If the sun governs everyone's horoscope, it means it's a charismatic leader, who, remember when I was talking about lions, I mentioned that lions are more likely to delegate work to others, but don't do much themselves. They prefer to unwind and only participate in the most critical moments of crisis. So even the planet that governs your horoscope, it will indicate a great deal about the quantity of your energy, the quality of this energy, and the level of resilience your body possesses. Are you a gentle Venusian, or are you an assertive Martian athlete, or are you a Saturnian individual who is a dedicated long-distance runner and diligent worker? So, these are all various forms of energy. And here, the third point provides clarification on the level of activity we can have, the specific type of energy we possess, and how we demonstrate ourselves. In addition, the ruling planet of the first house indicates how a person can stand out and make an impact in this life. Just to let you know, he has already received a lot on this planet. He is already a Venusian, he is already a Martian. So how can an individual stand out in this existence? So he was born in that manner, but naturally he requires to put in some effort to make it shine brighter with colors. Because a Venusian is a Venusian, but if he starts wandering around the stairwells instead of focusing on music, there won't be much Venusian left in him. This is his area of expertise, where he will undoubtedly flourish and succeed effortlessly. That's his first natural talent. Roughly speaking, here's how it goes. And when he starts developing this planet, developing this quality throughout the planet, this character, it will seem to him like he's not learning, but just repeating. He is not acquiring any fresh knowledge. He is simply reminiscing. Here is the agreement between them. And if that's the case, then you've stumbled upon a talent. So you stumbled upon some kind of innate ability of yours. The fourth point of our algorithm alpha, the sign in which the ruling planet of the ascendant is placed. Very important thing. Because it is not sufficient to only be a Martian, you additionally need to be a Martian with a specific sign in order to attain certain accomplishments. Or you can just not bother with achieving anything in your life. Then Mars will appear in Pisces, the sign representing the ruling planet of the first house, namely the ruler of the entire horoscope, indicates the values and worldview that a person strives for in life. What's his understanding of the values of life? This will show the zodiac sign in which the ruler of the entire horoscope is located, his life priorities. For instance, the boss of my horoscope is Mars. I'm a rising Scorpio. And my Mars shows my type of energy. I'm a pretty active person. I've got a lot of energy. and I love sports. I was professionally involved in sports in the first half of my life, and even now my life is not devoid of sports. I've resumed sports activities and I'll participate in competitions soon. I have to. I require that level of competitiveness, and that accurately describes the amount of my energy and its quality. However, the sign serves as a clear indication of the life principles that guide my actions and decisions in life. My Mars is in Sagittarius. This is a sign of teaching, transmitting some knowledge. That's what I'm doing now. The difference is it's one thing to be a Martian, but what kind of Martian are you? So through what? How are you going to express yourself through what values your precious Martian energy? Through the zodiac sign in which your planet is located in the first house. It is not always harmonious, far from it. Let's grab some Venusians, and let's say his Venus is located in the sign of Virgo. Yeah, he's a Venusian, he's got all the qualities of a Venusian, but what values is he striving for? He is going to be nitpicky. There will not be much romance in him, but there will be a great deal of practicality, a lot of pedantry. And most likely he will choose the profession of a doctor, meaning his values. Not exactly venereal, not exactly, they don't clash. If you have 4 matching points, ascendant sign, planets in the first house, and ruler of the first house, it indicates a strong personality. The coinciding ascendant sign and the sign where it is placed, along with the characteristically coinciding ruler of the first house, all add up to a highly manifesting individual with a strong presence. Because when desires, opportunities, values, and physical health align, that's when a person has a chance to become truly very successful. In most instances, we will end up with a hodgepodge. We have such complexity in character here, an innate pattern of behavior for us. Actually, we're trying to present ourselves differently. Our abilities are on the 3rd side. We have values of the 4th type. Well, most of the time we have these vectors going in different directions, flash on the left, flash on the right. But if there is a line passing through, it means it is a talented person. They will achieve something significant in their endeavors. There's something about him, like a spark of God. In every person there's a spark of God. It's just that not everyone reaches the level of understanding themselves. You can already commence offering individuals hints about it in a nice and accurate manner, describing the zodiac signs that perform different functions within their horoscope charts. How favorable will life be? How many resources will it provide? Will he possess ample energy and good health? A little bit later, dude. That will have to wait. If you go to the first step, you will figure this out too. Here you must know the table of exaltation of the fall of planets. It's a bit more complicated. 5th point. House where planet ruler of entire horoscope stands. Planets ruling first house or lagna, that's where they stand. In which house? In which sphere? That is also a significant indicator. What is the meaning or significance of this? This is the sphere of life where an individual will continuously exert effort, and this sphere of life holds the utmost significance for him. So he will strive for the values of this sphere of life. Owner of the 1st and the 5th, kids, education, culture, art. The owner of the 1st in the 7th, marriage is necessary. That's what you need, even if you crack. The owner of the 1st in the 8th, here is this esoteric stuff. Some stress, some topic of life and death, some kind of medicine related to resuscitation, something like that, and so on. So, this person will be directed into this field. They'll constantly level it up. They won't be able to distance themselves from it. This will be his lifelong grind. The next item, listed as the 5th, is actually the 6th in reality. And the planets in the zodiac signs, that is everything, well, you've figured out the main focus of a person, what kind of energy he has, how he presents himself when his head hasn't even turned on yet, where he directs his forces. Y'all saw all of that. After that, we can just go through the entire horoscope and take a look. Venus, you're a Scorpio. In love, you're such and such. You have the sun in Libra. In your career, you show the quality of scales. So you are like that. And a whole lot of people are going to be blown away. They are going to be blown away by how accurately you describe them. They'll be all up in your face, asking how the hell you know all this. And you tell them that I'm studying at a kick-ass predictive school. I'm currently going through training there. And this school really gives knowledge that works, that is practical, that is modern. And so you'll become a part of our crew and introduce yourself as an individual who is acquiring knowledge in a legitimate institution rather than just a random establishment. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the person you're dealing with will be very pleased. I'm certain that even if you permit yourself some inaccuracies, if you confuse the points, you will still convey a significant amount of information about a person that he doesn't disclose to anyone about himself, and he is fully aware that it's simply some sort of personal matter. So, we're looking at each planet, understanding what sphere of life it represents, meaning there's love, communication about Mercury, intelligence, ability to learn, the sun, career, the moon, psyche, emotions. Well, that's how we roll. Go back and review the first lesson if you've forgotten. The 7th item will be as follows. Which houses have a cluster of planets grouped closely together in their vicinity? So, like, you'll see one little planet somewhere, two somewhere else, but where there's 3 or more, that's like a really emphasized sphere. There, the person will also be very busy. And by the way, this might coincide with the house that the manager of the first house occupies, or maybe not match. And then the person will have 2 points of attention, in one house and in another house. Don't fear these contradictions. That is not a contradiction. It appears to us that everything should be square and perpendicular, simple and predictable. And over there, it's like showing one thing, it's like planets or something else. That's just how people are. He behaves differently in different situations, in different spheres. Here he chose such features, there are others. So don't be embarrassed, let it not stop you. Practice, practice, practice. During the mini course, declare yourself as a person studying astrology in a professional school. You need it now. Otherwise, you will never prove to anyone that you are not a camel, because you can't just be born like that. Like, you knew me as an engineer, and now I'm an astrologer. Where did you come from? Now, if you tell them about your own path, that you went down this path, it will be legitimate. Then at the end of your journey, they'll be waiting for you with open arms. If you're sneaking around, then either you're working exclusively for yourself, but then who are you going to train on? You are unable to train on your own, as that is way too little. I need to catch and drag someone who is in close proximity and consult them for assistance and guidance. To progress in astrology, start sharing your studies, learnings, and new techniques from the beginning. Otherwise, no one will believe your knowledge later, hindering your professional growth. Okay, let us examine Donald Trump's astrological forecast. He was already jumping out of there. Degrees don't matter, only planets, only the image of the horoscope. Let us analyze and break down Trump using our established methodology. This is our first point of analysis. Which zodiac sign is in our first house? This is the Leo zodiac sign. Well, you know, here you go, a typical example. Leo is a leader, charismatic, bright, sometimes scandalous, who runs a certain company, who prefers to delegate work to others, that is, organizes a specific activity, and is known for his unique approach and dynamic leadership style. Even in general, Trump's appearance is reminiscent, as it seems to me. Even the hair color, skin color, this tanned one, resonates with the sunny type. It reminds me of Trump in many ways, from his overall look to the specific details like his hair and skin tone. So here the zodiac sign is Leo. It's the horoscope of a leader, the horoscope of a charismatic person who attracts attention. Moving on, point 2. Sure, you can definitely delve deeper into the lion's den here, describe his lifestyle, his weaknesses. What are the lion's weaknesses? They're suckers for flattery, and they love it when they're praised. Second point, planets in the first house. Do they exist? They exist. Here stands Mars. Mars in the first house indicates that an individual is assertive, energetic, combative, essentially a hero-like figure, so to speak, who will make great efforts, who will wholeheartedly engage in challenging situations, who will vie with the external environment. And this lion-like nature, it just comes straight out of him. Here he is, a natural-born goofball. Just look at him. He even has that kind of slightly arrogant expression on his face. And Martian nature is the second thing that kicks in when he communicates with the world. Well, Trump is definitely not one to hold back. He'll bite your finger off up to the elbow in no time. Third point, Who is the owner of the first house, the owner of the whole horoscope? The sun shows us once again how this person is, what kind of health they have, what type of body they have, whether they have the physiological ability to be a leader. Trump is very tall, with a striking appearance. Back when he was young, he had these long ginger hair that really caught people's attention. So he is like this really bright and sunny type. I believe that if we closed this photo and did not write who it is, you could probably guess by the end of the lesson from the description that it is some politician, some leader, some entrepreneur, or something similar to that. But let's save this idea for future lessons. So the sun, as long as it duplicates the sign of the lion, that is, well, everything is fine with us, everything is good with the sun. What values will President Trump utilize to implement his unique talents and exceptional abilities during his tenure in office? Due to financial circumstances, because the sun is positioned in the zodiac sign of Taurus. In the sign of Taurus, Taurus is all about money and material possessions. Trump is a businessman. He was involved in real estate. Then he had Media Parallel, some very popular TV show for which we paid crazy money. Then he became president. So he knows his own sun from different sides, you know. Where is the master of the whole horoscope? Same old sun, in the 10th house of career. You see here, everything harmoniously coincides. A person is kind of one way, meaning they need a career, they have a sunny disposition, their body's physiology matches, they have enough health, and they also have enough drive, because Mars is in the 1st house, plus this lion-like nature of theirs. All right, he became the president of the USA, meaning he was already a very well-known public figure, an entrepreneur, a millionaire, and extremely successful before that. If the path he had taken had been more winding, the results he achieved wouldn't have been so colossal in magnitude and impact. Let's carry on watching. Well, what other aspects can we mention regarding this algorithm? We can examine every aspect of life through the position of the planets in the zodiac signs. For instance, let's start with the 1st house, Mars. What's he like in a conflict situation? He's a poser. He is an artist, you know, like really flashy, theatrical, and shows off his fighting style. He's all about the showmanship, putting on a performance with his unique artistic flair. He has Mars in his Leo sign. Well, you know, it is quite evident, even without reading any rumors or life stories about him. It is immediately clear that he knows how to utilize his accomplishments and conflicts to his advantage. He knows how to charm individuals and simply overshadow them with his brilliance, charisma, and innate ability to captivate those around him. Jupiter. What are his relationships with children and what is the meaning of life for him? Also, what are his values in life and how do they shape his perspective? Devi, I mean, everything should be fair and square. By the way, this is retrograde Jupiter. We haven't gone through this with you yet. There will be some distortions. Relationships with children are also, well, quite practical, pretty, I wouldn't say cold, but rather to the point, focused on efficiency and effectiveness. Jupiter here is specifically talking about this. What is his emotional side like? What are his thoughts and feelings? He's got an unstable emotional side with the moon in Scorpio, so he's impulsive, sensitive, and easily offended. He takes failures really hard. They deeply hurt him. He's also quite intuitive because the moon in Scorpio gives great insight, intelligence, and perceptiveness. He's got the sun shining through his fingers, meaning he's into some financial careers, entrepreneur careers. Mercury, his mental faculties, his intelligence are in an exceedingly advantageous position of great benefit. This Mercury allows him to exchange goods, services, and what else, information. Well, he was engaging in the trading of all of this stuff with this world. And he had his own media, yes, and he conducted transactions involving goods and services as well. So we possess high intelligence and education in this place. Saturn and Venus are present. 2 Venuses represent our love, while Saturn symbolizes our longevity and endurance. However, the stamina in this situation is somewhat diminished, as it is highly emotional. So it does not want to tolerate. Saturn is inquiring if you can tough it out and endure through some unfavorable events for a prolonged period of time. You gotta tough it out, suffer through it, and then everything will be fine. So here's the thing, Trump has this emotional quality. He would not really want to endure it for a prolonged period of time. And Venus in this context demonstrates his romantic side, that is to say, regardless of all these external factors that we have discussed today, in matters of love, he places a high value on the familial component, that is to say, the relationships that are formed within a conventional family framework, characterized by traditional norms and values. And he discusses his emotions in love extensively, so essentially he requires to have a sincere and intimate conversation with the woman. He wants her to accept him as a mom. What kind of accentuated houses do we end up with? Well, there are many, many. Here is this emphasized house, the 10th house of career, the 4th house of real estate. He is like totally a real estate tycoon, you know, and he holds the position of the 12th. Seems like he's had a fair share of either some kind of loneliness or getting lost in his own thoughts and travels. Well, of course, he must have a lot of trips. Especially when he was president, he had to do a whole lot of flying. See another example. This is Angelina Jolie. This is trickier. Make the character more complex. And she is a crab that is rising in prominence. So that already says a lot about Angelina, indicating her growing success and influence. She is sensitive. She experiences a lot of emotions within herself. That can occur during periods of inefficiency, because when there are a multitude of emotions, it becomes difficult to accomplish tasks. All we can do is wait for these emotions to subside. Angelina Jolie, she's got quite a reputation. Girls are also not very balanced, just like Trump. However, what did the actress do to her? She has Venus in the 1st house. Therefore, Venus had a significant impact on her serve. You see, she appears incredibly feminine in this. Even in this photograph, she exudes a remarkably feminine and soft aura, you know. She is attractive, and it is immediately clear that she is some kind of star, like she is an actress or a model, a TV presenter or something of that nature, indicating her profession in the entertainment industry. She definitely possesses it. She is the boss of the initial house. And that also speaks to the presence of poor health conditions. There has been a change in the moon. Angelina Jolie is not truly the embodiment of good health at the moment. She's very thin, and she has undergone multiple surgeries throughout her life. The genetics there are not too good. She had a mastectomy for oncology, and she went and had some surgeries done to avoid getting that cancer. She got rid of some organs. In essence, the moon in this particular situation indicates a relatively weak and vulnerable state of health. On what values does Angelina rely? So how is she going to show herself? On what values does he strive for? This is a fish. Angelina Jolie has achieved a tremendous amount. Despite her career, she has dedicated a substantial amount of time and energy to charitable endeavors, donations, the establishment of foundations, and providing assistance to underprivileged and vulnerable groups and individuals. And that is the place where her spiritual strength, emerges. So her complete horoscope opts for the sign of Pisces, the values of Pisces, sacrifices, help, philosophical self-reflection, spirituality. Well, this person ultimately revealed themselves to be deep and profound in nature, possessing a profound sense of introspection and a strong connection to the spiritual realm. Following that, the location of our landlady of the 1st house, Luna, is situated in the 9th house of the astrological chart. The 9th house for us pertains to spiritual development, scientific development, or the search for a guru, as well as long journeys that we undertake. Certainly, all this material is extremely significant in Jolie's life. We are not going to discuss the zodiac signs at the moment, providing a description of each planet. But I can already inform you that in Uzhol there are 2 houses that are heavily emphasized, like spheres that are really emphasized. First of all, there's the 9th house, which is her spiritual side, the search for oneself, the search for one's religion, spirituality, immersing oneself in the realm of self-discovery and so on, as well as long trips, everything we've listed, as well as achievements, friends, socializing, involvement in some social circle, which is also extremely important. Well, Jolie is an actress who has been honored with multiple Oscars. She is an actress who is highly regarded and accepted in the most luxurious and exclusive circles of Hollywood, so she possesses exceptional talent in this sphere of life. So she possesses depth in her horoscope, and she possesses a significant amount of success as well as femininity, and she also has certain internal issues that she is dealing with, and not a lot of health. And all this is mixed up like that. I mean, individuals can be different. They can be as Trump-like, and all the planets hit them in one goal. Social success, administrative success. And they can be like that and sometimes vulnerable and somewhere soft, but also somewhere bright, powerful and strong. That is normal for individuals. That does not imply astrology does not work or technology, the formula does not work. Just an ordinary individual experiencing different situations in their life will respond in diverse manners. And finally, what I want to tell you in this lesson, make sure to try out this tool, this algorithm for analyzing horoscopes on all your friends, on all your protégés. Let this skill stay with you, meaning you should learn how to interpret. Let it be a little bit unsure. Somewhere you won't say a lot about a person, but you'll say little. Just so you know, we completely tore apart Trump in a very quick manner. So I will provide just a few words about each stage. Here's the deal. Once you become a badass astrologer, when you've got a ton of knowledge about nakshatras, formulas, planetary combinations, planet compatibility, who's enemies with who, who's conflicting, who's not conflicting, then you can give a whole lecture on just one parameter. Right now, there are enough basic bright features. Trust me, people will be grateful and find it interesting. Moreover, I'd like to remind you that learning astrology is a lengthy process, but it is ultimately very rewarding. And if you decide to study astrology, whether it is your preferred pastime or your lifelong profession, ensure to continue learning and honing your skills by practicing on your loved ones, family, colleagues, friends, and others. Our students who study without interruption receive the best offers in school through the loyalty system. That is why graduates of our mini course receive the best offer for the initial stage of education in school.